All right, welcome back. America this week is vowing to never forget as we approach the 20th commemoration of the September 11th attacks this Saturday. Here to reflect on that tragic day is someone who was on the air then. Joining us now, Bill O'Reilly, host of the No Spin News on BillO'Reilly.com. He's also the author of Killing the Mob, The Fight Against Organized Crime in America. Good to see you, Bill. How are you?
I'm the same, Sean, which is tragic for everybody, you know. But thanks for having me in. I appreciate it.
You bet. Tell me where you were on 9/11 and how that day has impacted you.
It was a work day for the O'Reilly Factor, so I was home gathering information. I usually do a morning conference call from here and then commute into city. I live about 25 miles away from the Fox headquarters. So I had a TV news on. I saw the first video. Some people said it was an accident. I knew it wasn't. And then it was followed by the second plane crashing into the Twin Towers. And so we mobilized very quickly, but here's what was an amazing part of that. Within an hour, New York police had shut down every avenue into the city, into Manhattan. You could get to the outer boroughs, but you could not get into Manhattan. They sealed up the bridges and the tunnels in lightning quickness. It was an amazing display. So I had to go out to Suffolk County, where there's a TV studio, do the Factor from out there. Now, my town, where I am right now on Long Island, lost a lot of people. And I knew, I would say, dozens of them. And the heartbreaking thing that week was their children who went to school that day, and they came home and their mother or father or uncle or aunt, brother or sister, older, were dead. And that was just a crusher for the whole community. And the community has not recovered even 20 years after, because that kind of impact never leaves you. But on the positive front, everybody in New York came together. It was a heroic moment for the police and firefighters and first responders and the medical people and everybody. And now, to this day, we help the families that were affected by the terror attack.
Yeah. You know, Bill, as we approach this 20th anniversary, do you feel like America is safer today than we were in 2001?
I feel it's safer. I just finished writing a book called Killing the Killers: The Secret War on Terrorism. It'll be out early next year. And I think as much about American security as anybody on the planet. That book is full of classified information that nobody's seen. I was lucky enough to be able to get it. I'll probably wind up in prison for printing it. But I think Americans need to know that we are safer. And the reason is technology. So the American government, apart from the politicians, has harnessed technology to make it very, very hard for ISIS, Al-Qaeda, these people, to organize an attack on our soil. It can be done, but it's hard to do. And with the listening devices and the Patriot Act still in play, as Sean very well knows, very, very difficult to do a large-scale terror attack in the USA.
So, Bill, you talk about the technology. Let's talk about the people. We've been talking about this all week. We're talking about setting up a relationship, quote unquote, a partnership with the Taliban, whose cabinet consists of terrorists. What kind of signal does that send? What kind of people are we engaged in at a time when, you're right, the technology has evolved tremendously, but then I feel like we're going backwards in terms of the people?
Well, there's no question that Joe Biden is a weak president. All the evidence points to that. On some days, he doesn't know what he's saying. I don't know why anyone who voted for Mr. Biden would be surprised. He was the only cabinet member under Barack Obama that voted against the raid to kill bin Laden, the only one. As you know, Gates, the former Secretary of Defense, has said that Joe Biden has been wrong on every single foreign policy issue in his whole career. So why would anybody be surprised that he screwed up Afghanistan and that he's a weak leader? See, I cover this in a whole different way, Sean. I'm not getting in there to the Biden bashing. I know who the man is, and I know what he's capable of doing. And in the next 3 years, Americans are going to be horrified at how much their country is damaged.
But Bill, you know, one thing we just talked about, these 4 ex-Guantanamo Bay prisoners who are now part of running the acting government of the Taliban. The U.S. is having to negotiate with them to try to get U.S. citizens out. How does that change things? They have the old guard in there. Can we work with them? This administration seems to think we can.
Now, you're not going to be able to work with the Taliban. You can buy them off, and that's what the Biden administration will do. It'll send them, quote unquote, aid, and then some people will be let out. But you can't work with them. I mean, their word, it means nothing. Taliban's word? I mean, I spoke to Donald Trump about this soon after the Taliban started to sweep down. And it was a private conversation, but I don't think he'll mind me telling the Newsmax audience. I mean, he basically said, look, I wanted out of Afghanistan because it wasn't worth it for us financially. But I told the Taliban on the phone, man to man, that if they violated any part of our disengagement, and that meant they couldn't take over the Afghanistan government, that I would kill them personally, like we killed Soleimani, al-Baghdadi, and bin Laden. And he said that held them at bay until I left office and Biden came in, where they don't fear Biden, where the Taliban did fear Trump because Trump would have killed them and their whole family by using technology and drones. That's what he would have done. And they knew it.
Wow. I mean, that's what the difference in leadership, and those are the differences that elections make. Bill O'Reilly, thanks for, as always, for joining us.
Sure, guys. Thanks for having me on.
Hey, I'm Rob Finnerty. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please join the conversation in the comments below. Don't forget to subscribe, too. Hit the bell icon to be alerted to breaking news. And remember, there's a whole lot more on Newsmax TV, America's fastest growing cable news network. Newsmax TV, we're real news for real people.